issues with the selling of our electric utilities. Would you be in favor of inviting FP&L or other utilities to discuss the purchasing of Lake Worth Electric Utility?
Thank you. This is a question that certainly is in a lot of people's minds in our communities. We have difficulties with our rates. We used to have difficulty with outages. We certainly continue to have difficulties with customer service. Why don't we just take that whole thing and sell it? Well, we can't. It's not technically impossible to do, but it is not a very good idea. And let me tell you some of the reasons why. Our charter does not permit us to sell the utility, so you would have to change the charter, which would take a vote of all the residents in the city to do that. That's possible, and if somebody wants to mount that campaign, that's fine, that is an option. However, before I put a lot of investment into that campaign, if I was pushing for it, I would say, look at our obligations. Approximately half of our electrons that go through all of our services in the city, all of our, our households and so on, come from two plants, the St. Lucie nuclear plant and the Stanton coal plant. We have obligations to those plants that go way out into the future. To the St. Lucie plant, they go to the listed lifetime of that plant, sometime in 2040 or 42. It's way out. It is not possible to sell those obligations with any ease at all, and there's no guarantee that you can do it. You can only sell to municipal utilities. That's a very small market. They're not interested right now. And you have to get all sorts of people, bond lawyers, bond trustees, all of them to approve that sale, plus all of the other communities that are part of the Florida Municipal Power Agency. So it's a nice idea. To me, it seems like a total dead end. I don't think it's a good idea to sell the utility. I think our goal is to make it better.
Thank you, Mr. McBoyd.
Well, I'd like to start out by correcting some misinformation. Our charter clearly states the steps needed to sell the utility. It takes a referendum. And I challenge the City Commission and my opponent to put it on the March ballot. Let Lake Worth decide, because I can tell you there is interest in our utility. It can be sold. We do have bond obligations, but they're not impossible to overcome. Am I saying that I absolutely advocate the sale of the utility? No, I'm not saying that I do or I don't, but I want to see the numbers. I want to see the actual facts and figures before I make a predetermined decision that it's not a good idea. Because the single biggest drag on the city of Lake Worth is the utility. Until the utility is at parity with everyone around us, which means on average commercial residential it's 35% higher, Lake Worth will be what Lake Worth is right now. We're going to always be fighting really, really hard to not make that much progress. The second that utility is sold, and the FPL banner or whomever else takes over, all of our property values are going to jump up. Because right now, you're subsidizing the utility and the money that's going to the general fund with your property values. And the best example of that is to head over to Palm Springs and take a look at two identical homes. One serviced by FPL, the other by Lake Worth Utilities. There is a significant difference in the properties. I think, and I believe, that the most important decision facing the city is the future of the utility, and it should be put before the residents.